Rock Show. My name is Ryan. I'm the host of the program. It's our Pat O'Brien's Back in Rehab edition of Ryan's Rock Show. Today we're going to be speaking to Mike from Alien Ant Farm. But first, your weekly essential where we play you a band that you need to know if you don't know them already. This band is called Men, Women, and Children, and you're listening to Ryan's Rock Show. Men, Women, and Children Weekly Essential. Be sure to send us your comments, your questions, and or your suggestions to ryansrockshow.com. Now, I had a chance to meet up with Mike, the drummer from Alien Ant Farm. Here's what he had to say.
What's going on with your Alien Ant Farm stuff? Is that even still a band?
We were actually, we were broken up for a while, essentially. I mean, we never officially broke up, but we just weren't playing shows, and we're getting offers here and there and not, but, and we've had, since, our original guitar player was gone and our original bass player is gone. So it became kind of like, difficult to kind of get the morale, to do for that. But in the very recent past, or like a week ago, we all kind of, set our differences aside and just, became kind of, I was reaching out to the guys anyway because, we had some little discrepancies, and I just wanted to set that straight and basically, say hey, and I missed them and all that kind of stuff, and then like we got some offers, so we actually might be going and playing some shows as the original unit coming in the spring and summer. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. What were those guys doing in the hiatus?
Well, Ty is over. He's actually attending Berklee School of Music in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's out there, and I'm producing a band out of there called Kidnapkin. They're out of Boston. They're also Berklee graduates or alumni. So it's cool. Like I was trying, Ty's gonna go check out their band, and we're all just kind of trying to slowly become friends again and stuff, and just like talking about different things. It's been fun, cause once you're in a band with people, you get all, I guess it's really easy to bicker and all that. So it's nice to set those differences behind us and aside and just go like, hey, what's going on, man? I miss you, So it's really cool. And Terry as well. Terry's been playing with Counterman 5000 and he's also got another band that he's working on right now, with some friends, and he's like really serious about and digging, which is cool. He seems really excited about it, and so it's fun to kind of go play some of these songs that we like. They're like little girlfriends or old girlfriends that we used to date or something, and it's like it's fun. We feel proud of the music, and it's nice to do it with the original people. Although I love playing with the guys that were filling in for a bit too. They're good musicians as well. So
what was Dryden doing?
Dryden, I think, was doing some stuff on his own. I don't really know exactly, but I know he was recording some stuff and surfing a lot and doing his thing that he does out there. He's out in Huntington and stuff.
Oh, right.
He has plenty of fun out there, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a little Alien Ant Farm story. I was like 15, and I used to write for my school paper, my high school paper in Ohio, and I wrote an article on Alien Ant Farm right before Anthology came out. It was like mid-February 2002, or 2001. I think it was sometime.
We were in Columbus when it came out, so makes sense.
Yeah. So it was around then, and we actually, you probably don't even remember this, but we did I sent you like 5 questions for an email, and you responded back. And I included that in the article. And I think you guys opened up for Linkin Park.
Yeah,
pretty sure it was Linkin Park. Yeah, and Taproot. Yeah, that's when Steven Richards jumped off the balcony.
Yep.
I remember that. That was crazy. But anyway, so what happened was the radio station was giving away, they had like 2 pairs of tickets left. So I was like, oh, dude, all you have to do is email them and tell them what you want, to go to the show. I was like, dude, I would lick donkey nuts to get into the show. They were like, dude, that's gross. You get tickets. I'm like, hell yeah. So, went to the show. And the show actually, in a weird way, I guess I kind of got to thank you, because it actually kind of changed my life in a really weird way, because, when you're 15, you're confused, you're depressed, you don't know what the hell you want. And it was right around Valentine's Day. I think it was right after Valentine's Day, and I'm like, oh man, this sucks, And then all of a sudden, there were these 4 super hot chicks, and they're in their mid-20s. Next thing I know, dude, one of them's on my lap, and the other one's sitting next to me, and they also just doing weird things and licking and stuff, and I was like, I gotta thank Alien Ant
Oh,
Farm, you know?
wow, that's fun.
So, in a weird way, that really changed my life.
You know, I gotta say, like, I remember around that time, there were some freaky little girls that were in Columbus.
There were.
We were having a good time, I must say.
One of the girls actually came and got you, and I met you when I was like 15.
Huh.
And then the crowd like pushed you, and you like elbowed my neck.
Oh, wow. See, you should have got out of the way.
It was crazy. Actually, you know what? I think I had to search high and low for this dude.
Oh, wow.
That was back in the day. So I
Is
thought,
that what you wrote?
yeah.
Oh, awesome, man.
So I figured I'd copy it for you. It's actually it's kind of shitty when you look back on it and read it.
That's really cool.
Because now I'm like 22 and I do this like interview bands.
No, I think that's really awesome that you had done that and like kind of having that like, because when you're 15 and going to shows, I mean, it was around the same time like I was going and playing my first shows, and it's just like so awesome to go and you do experience it, like, you know, you're at home, you want to break away, and then all of a sudden you find your own like little world out there in music, and here you are now, you know. So here we are now.
It's so weird, man, when you really think about it, like all the things that end up playing a part in your life, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But you know, it's kind of crazy that you guys, like, Alien Ant Farm ended up going platinum, like with Anthology. Like, how does that feel to sell over 1 million records? Does it change your perspective?
It's cool because, well, I mean, obviously it's good for like, you know, money and all that stuff. But I mean, it's like, it's more like growing up. You know, for me, I'm 32 now, so like whenever I was growing up, it was about gold records and platinum records and all that. Now it's like, you know, you can't really like think that it's about that. So it's fun to be like participate and like, you know, achieve one of those things. It's like it's like if they took the Super Bowl away from like football, like, you know what I mean? Like then there's what do you kind of measure it by? Which it doesn't matter. But and they have like the golden hard drives and all that kind of stuff, you know, which is it's kind of trippy. So in the world of records not selling and all that, I guess it's really amazing to have a platinum record, you know.
Dude, it's crazy. Like when you think about it in numbers, it doesn't sound like a lot, but like I guess when you really sit down to comprehend it, like 1 million is kind of a lot.
Yeah, and like it's a lot more worldwide and all that too. So I mean, it's like it's one of those things where, again, like, you know, in this day and age where records rarely sell, you compare, you know, comparatively to you know what's popular. You know what I mean? So.
Did you think that it was going to sell that much when you guys?
Oh no, you know, growing up and being into music, like, you know, like you're saying, like when you're 15 going to shows, you don't think like I want to be platinum. I mean, you think like I want to be cool, like that band that I did.
I know,
and you're not even, usually those bands that are like rock bands and stuff, they're not really like selling and doing crazy. So when I was trying to get into music, like it wasn't so much, I wanted to make a living, but it wasn't about like you know, like record sales or something like that. So it was all a shock, and obviously it was due to like, you know, a lot of that Michael Jackson stuff and all that, which, you know, was way bigger than we had ever anticipated, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
that is pretty crazy. Did Michael Jackson ever contact you about the song?
Yeah, people like him and like his brother and different people just like, you know, they just like reached out and sent us messages like, oh, you know, you did a good job and all that kind of stuff, you know.
So you all called you like, hey, you guys look good, we like it.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty funny, man.
That's awesome, man.
But, yeah, it's nice.
After Anthology, the records didn't sell as much as that, did it?
No, we had gone to we had gone to the rec and then this and that and things like kind of like it was just a different time and and like our label had shut down, so Truant only did like, you know, a couple 100,000 or something like that, which is still good.
Still good, yeah.
But you know, when you do so great the first one and then just still good the second, it's not cool for the label.
Did you guys feel pressure after you released the first album and then it went crazy?
Well, I mean, I felt pressure. We definitely had it, you know what I mean, because they wanted us to do good and expected us to do good. I didn't think that it would be as crazy of like a reception because, you know, with the Michael Jackson thing, it crossed over in so many formats to where we were being played on like R&B and urban style radio, which, you know, if we were to traditionally write a rock hit as a rock band, those just wouldn't go there, you know, So it crossed over in every format and then beyond, you know. It's like when Linkin Park and Jay-Z like got together. It's like, you know, that's when that kind of stuff like crosses over, you know what I mean?
Smooth Criminal, wasn't it like #1 on the rock charts for like a month or something?
Yeah, it was that, and I mean all over the world really, and pop, and adult, you know, adult contemporary, modern rock, active rock, you know, R&B.
When you hear it on the radio today, how does it make you feel when you hear it?
Well, I'm glad. I mean, I'm surprised. You know, that like it's been getting a lot of play to where people are. It's like people are calling me a lot lately, just like, hey, and blah blah blah, you know. And so I'm like, oh, cool, you know.
Watch it come on the radio now.
I know. It's one of those things where it's people just still, you know, will call me like, hey man, you're on the radio or something, and I laugh. But it's nice. I'm glad that like it's kind of become a classic in that way where it kind of hopefully becomes timeless and people just insert it every now and then. Like on K-Rock, they'll just play it, you know, in the middle of the day, and it's cool.
My favorite was Movies on that album.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Why did you guys re-release that song with a different video?
Well, the first one, it's just the way the business was kind of running at the time. It's like videos were actually like being played a lot, and the single came out on the radio first. The video kind of, we dropped the ball on it, so it came out later, and it didn't sync up when it was both like coming out. Smooth Criminal, they like released, you know, unbeknownst to us, and it took off. You know what I mean? Like, and like radio stations just started playing it on their own without us even asking, and so it's reacting good, and so like that took off. Then when 9/11 happened, we got put onto the Clear Channel list that was like, you know, inappropriate songs for the time, sensitive times or whatever. So Smooth Criminal was kind of like, might remind you of two Twin Towers or something. I don't know how, but so they took it off. But the label or the radio stations, I'm sorry, wanted to be like supportive still. So they said, hey, you know, we don't want to like dish you and take off this song because it's been #1 right now.
Yeah.
But like we'll put on, you know, we'll play Movies again for you if you guys like, because we dig that tune too.
Yeah.
So then we went and did another video that was like more on the level, and so that brought that back up. And it's rare that, you know, that happens, but that was like a weird circumstance. So.
Was that really a real Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah.
Oh, it really was?
Yeah, homeboy. Yeah.
That's badass.
2002 is when we got into that, and it just, you know, it was a bus wreck, and we were in Spain, and just kind of turned everything over for a second.
How much did that affect your writing?
Well, it affected us in a way where I think we were trying not to be affected and come across. And at the time, it's such a hard thing because, you know, when you're younger and you're coming into that and you're having some success, you almost feel guilty for like being so successful. You feel like, oh, like all these kids are gonna stop liking us because we're so popular or something right now.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna turn into hating. You know what I mean? And it happens all the time. So like I guess we were like trying to like cling, like hold on to that, and like we didn't want to sit there and like sell out and, you know, write about our situation as if it was like, oh, check it out, this should be worth something, you know. We were almost trying to not do that and go the opposite way and be like, hey, we got other things to say too. And I think in hindsight, you know, that was also like fucked up too of us. So we didn't know what to do. It was a weird situation, and we didn't know how to deal with all the success and how do we keep our fans, and, you know, we should have been worried about our mental health at that point, you know, but we're probably like too into our band and music at the time to think that.
Like, how did the success of that record change you personally?
Well, there's definitely times, I think, in all of us who became jerks. You could tell, you know, when people get that kind of like success, and it's not so much, it's just, you just get more, just like, oh, I haven't got time for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but it's just, it's not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I could tell that. But in the end, I think that, like, you know, we all kind of maintained and came back. You know what I mean? There was moments where I'm sure anybody could like write a story and say, hey man, they were fucking assholes. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, it wasn't. I think it's just as much as anybody else. I think in fact we're probably like nicer and more approachable than most bands. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, for you to come out now and kind of kick it, you know, I mean, obviously I know that things have changed again. It's been a long time, you know, and now I'm like an adult and I'm not a little kid
but
anymore, so.
it's something that we always wanted to do it for the right reasons, and I think we're getting back to like doing it for the right reasons. At the moment when we were becoming jerks, it was when, you know, we were doing all these like kind of like kiddie magazines and stuff, and we felt kind of silly because that's not really where we were from or where we were trying to go. But at the same time, you got the label going, hey, you got to do this stuff, and you know, it's gonna make the record sell, and it did. You know what I mean? I mean, what they were saying, they were right. You know, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you get so done with it, you get so like worn out, and if you're like those guys that I just want to play music, it's just about the music, you know, you got that kind of like, you know, you got that attitude, and you try to like maintain it. They kind of take it away from you. You don't even realize it. They just go, you stand over here, we'll take care of this, and then pretty soon you're not playing music that much. You're doing interviews more, you know. And I like being part of the scene and being part of music and like promoting the stuff, but you know, enough's enough. And when you're like, you know, being asked to moonwalk and all that kind of stuff, you become like a stroppy
really
kid.
Happen? Like kids would come up to you and be like, hey, do you moonwalk?
Well, no, it'd be more like, you know, in like silly interviews. Oh, you know, like, and especially more like with like foreign press and stuff. It's like, it's like they don't mean to be like that way. They're just doing their job, and you know, when their accent sounds different, you're just like, oh, you know, they just want us to moonwalk, and they don't give a shit about really talking to us about anything. It's like
so funny.
you become like kind of pissy bastards, you know.
Would kids like recognize you on the street?
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm trying to imagine like, you know, that type of success. And, like,
well, for Dryden, it was ridiculous, especially in his head at the time, and you know, it was tough. I mean, kids still to this day, you know, but if it's in a rock environment where kids would be familiar with what I might have done or whatever. But for Dryden time, when, you know, again, when MTV was playing videos a lot and you would see his face on there all day, it would be tough, you know what I mean? And he'd try to eat somewhere and people are just like, people act like ridiculous. It's trippy, you know what I mean? And it's nothing bad, and it doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's just like, okay, like, you know, what do you want me to sit here and say, you know?
I mean, that's nuts. Like, how did he deal with it, like, personally, with all that attention?
I think he became a jerk at a lot of times, you know? Yeah, I mean, because we're artists to begin with, so, you know, it's not like we're the most well-adjusted people, like, in that way, and, you know, when you're kind of like, again, it's just certain things, it's not like you're just being a jerk going, oh, I'm cool, and you guys just want to talk to me. It's more like, dude, I want to eat, you leave me alone, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of thing. But, you know, you're lucky to have it too.
Yeah, I did an interview with JP from The Locust, actually right here.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of weird because you know how they wear masks and stuff?
Yeah.
Like
I love The Locust too.
Yeah, dude, they're great.
Yeah, awesome.
we were doing an interview here. There were like a million of kids like around us, like we were in that back table back there, and there were kids sitting right here just like staring at us. And I was just trying to think like, you know, I understand they've been around for a while. Like, how do they know what he looks like when they wear masks?
I think
it's just kind of weird.
Those kinds of bands, I mean, like they're super good musicians and stuff, and so kids are like really into it. And those kind of kids, you know, they're not there because of the masks. That's just like kind of like a little like obstacle to get around, you know. And those kids are gonna figure it out. They're gonna wait after the shows, and they're gonna know. I mean, when I was a kid, I would know that stuff, you know what I mean, because I cared about the music and. You're more fascinated by the dude inside there. What's he, you know, shit, does he have like fucking, you know, cloudy gray eyes? Like, how do they do that? You know, they're such good musicians. So I think that's what it is. Those kids who are probably all like around here are probably like trying to be good musicians themselves too.
I guess, I totally understand what you're saying for that. Definitely. What are some other bands, like newer bands, that you listen to?
I don't know, it's not like I don't listen to new music, but, you know, I really dig, like I said, I dig Paul Troy as far as the new ones go. I feel like a jerk because I'm not mentioned, but I can't think of anything else like right now that's new that I really dig. And it's not like I listen to old music. I'm set up, I think, in the studio lately that I'm not like listening to as much. But I love the new Radiohead a lot, you know what I mean? I mean, that's not necessarily like a new band, but...
So what about now? What do you do? I mean, you do make your living off the studio stuff? Like,
I mean, pretty much that. Money left over from Ant Farm stuff, you know. Like, we've done well for ourselves, and now I'll do that, and just little things, little investments in it, and it allows me to kind of, like, produce the things that I want to produce, be a little bit more picky about it. And I'm starting to, like, you know, I'm taking, again, like, any bands that want to send me stuff, you know what I mean? I'm down to listen. And I haven't found any bands in Southern California or anything. Like, they've all been in, you know, out of Vermont and, you know, Long Island and Boston and Austin and all these different things. Just, I mean,
So you're getting really into heavy producing then?
Yeah, I love it. I love working with bands, and, you know, like, hearing the younger kids come in and talk about what they want to do, and you know, kind of motivating them, like, hey, don't be such a pussy and fucking get out there and do this, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
And Farm, you know, it gives me a little bit of credibility, and they respect me a little bit. And, you know, not everybody comes in and is like, oh, like, Ant Farm was my favorite band or something like that. It's not like that, you know. It's and I tell them, you know, like my band, you know, like, just like, we'll work out this music I dig, you know. So.
That's cool, though. I mean, that's good to have that, to be able to get that. It's good to get all that going.
Well, I know, too, as an artist, when you're dealing with a producer, especially at that point in your career, it helps to be able to have faith in the person that's telling you what you should do. Because, you know, you're coming just from that cool kid, you know, teenager, and you're respectful, but, like, you know, you're like, fuck that guy. He doesn't, I don't, you know.
What you mean.
So it's like when you have somebody that's done this shit, you know, you'll mind your P's and Q's a little bit. You go, this guy knows what he's saying. He's not just like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, you know.
That's true. So you mentioned the band that you're thinking of starting your new band. Like, what are you looking to do?
I like heavier rock and stuff for sure. I love grooving. I love like mellower. So anything melodic. I mean, I dig screaming stuff, you know. So it sounds like, you know, anything is wide open. I just want to play with like, you know, good musicians. I have a lot of friends. I just don't have any like all the bands that I work with. I like dig the singers and be like, come on, like, you know. But I love the music too much to even like get involved that way.
Thanks to Mike for coming on the show. We leave you this week shining some limelight on the band. It's one of the bands that Mike produces. They're called The Urgency. We'll see you next week on Ryan's Rock Show. Peace.
Dream you're still